Good morning. Good morning. And we have a nice blue morning, blue sky, nice and bright and sunny. I hope everybody is having a good day. My name is Caroline Evans. I am the owner of Radiant Energy Tattoo here in Brick, New Jersey. And I put up this weekly blog to go talk about what's happening at the shop, but also like what's happening with me, being a shop owner and an operator is a juggling act. So, so that's why I put this out and I like talk about stuff. It's good to like get things out there and talk it out. So some people will recognize me from Ink Master season 5, the Rivals format. I was also on season 2, 3 of Redemption. I forget which season. And at that time, when I was doing that, I was finding out that I was on the hypermobility spectrum of disorders, or at least a clinical diagnosis of hypermobility. I did have genetic testing that was part of a study where they were looking for a specific subset of genetic markers that I did not possess. So the outcome of that was saying that I had too many clinical presentations to ignore a diagnosis. And being on set, I could not do the self-care that I needed to be doing at that time in my life. And so I was like, well, then I don't need to be here. So I laid myself down like a doormat so I could go home. That's where I needed to be. I needed to be focusing on my health, and I could not do it in that environment. So, a lot of people are like, that I got eliminated first. That was intentional, very intentional. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. So I wasn't willing to wager that. So I didn't. But back to the shop, back to our schedule. We have Friday the 13th coming up. It'll be here. It's February. That's our first Friday the 13th. I believe that there's 3 this year. So the artists at the shop are getting excited for this. We will be posting our flash soon. I don't have an exact date yet. I think by next week's blog, I'll have a date for you so that you can look out on our social media for that. And I'll be out of the shop. Let's see. This week I'll be at the shop, but then the following week I'll be gone because I'm celebrating my 50th. And I'm going to the UK. I had fallen in love with this company many years ago, Aveda. I had come across them when one of my girlfriends won a trip to Vegas, and she wanted to take me because I had already been there. She wanted to go with somebody that had been there prior so that she felt more comfortable. So I said, okay, let's do this. We stayed at the Luxor, and the Luxor had an Aveda spa. And we ended up, as soon as we got there, we're like, oh, we're going to go to the spa. We're going to make this a trip, And we call, and we could only make our appointments the last day before leaving. And like the last day, like literally go to the spa that morning, check out of the room, go to the airport. So we did. And it was great. The aromas, the scents, the people that were employed there, everybody was so amazing. So I was super excited when I used to go to the Menlo Park Mall and they had a store. I was like, oh, I can buy some of this stuff. It's a little disappointed that I couldn't get like the shower gels that they had at the spa. But I could get other stuff. So my go-to products there is the Aveda, the hand relief and the foot relief. If you're a traveling tattoo artist or just a tattoo artist in general, you know that when you're on a concrete floor at a convention, your feet are going to be killing you. Also, the the amount of work that you're doing, your hands, your elbows maybe. Like everybody feels it differently because everybody's body dynamics are different, but you're going to feel it somewhere. So I swear by these products, you slather them on you, put a cotton socks on or cotton gloves, go to bed, and in the morning, nothing hurts anymore. How? I don't know, but I love it, and so, and their shampoo, their signature scent, amazing. I also have one of their sprays that is used as a pillow, like as a pillow spray. It helps you fall asleep and stuff like that. Aromatherapy gets you to bed, and it really works. I had gifted one to my mom, and she was, my mom's always skeptical of everything. It's probably where I get my skepticism too. But she was just like, eh. But then she tried it, and she was like, oh my God, she wants more. And I'm like, I can't get you any more. They don't make it anymore. So usually Aveda, if they have a problem sourcing raw materials, then that's when a product gets discontinued. They're trying to be kind to the planet, kind to the workers, and just their supply chain. They're trying to be as fair, like I can't even say like fair, but kind to the earth, kind to the humans. And so all these years I've been hoarding points, and I finally got enough points to go to their experience salon in Covent Garden, UK. So we've built a trip around it. My boyfriend's all into the Beatles, so we're going to be doing some of that. So it's going to be a great time. So I'm not going to be in the shop starting, let's see, the week of the 19th, and I might be back in the shop on the 30th, but we're using that as a buffer day in case jet lag gets us. So I'll definitely be back February 1st. So next week when I do my blog, like I said, I should have the dates when you should expect to see our flash sheets going up. They're going to be $50, arms and legs as is, like depending on design. If you want to throw in a little bit of shading, stuff like that, ask the artist first before assuming that can happen. So, and then we're going to be doing walk-ins or appointments. So either or, if you want to make sure that you're going to get in, book an appointment. We'll put up a link so that you could drop a $20 deposit, and then that'll go toward the $50. We also here in New Jersey, we collect sales tax, so sales tax is going to be on there. We're doing this because we're running everything through our register. We are also offering our artists retirement. My generation did not have that. I did have a mentor that spoke to me about saving your money, making your money work for you, but with his limited knowledge, but he was still trying, and you did not have the internet. You didn't have all these financial gurus. You didn't have access to the information that we do now. So I love now that we have this access. And I love the Dow Janes. I love Budget Dog. Like, I love all of these people. And so I'm trying to look out for my artists, pour into them. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't have the shop. There wouldn't be a point for the shop. I'm not sure why other shop owners think that the artists are there to make them money. Like, no, you're there to help them have longevity in their career, and health, and, balancing, like work-life balance, and like all like these things. Like, I've been in such toxic shop environments that I was like, I'm not having any of that shit. Like, my artists, I pour into them. They give me the ability to keep the shop, and I'm going to try and pass on as much information as I can so that they can be financially in a good position, because I want them to retire. I don't know if I'm going to retire, but I want them to retire. So financial well-being, physical well-being, mental well-being, all of this. Have fun while you're tattooing. You're the tattoo shop. We always talk about it being ink therapy for the client, but it's also for the artist. It's your sanctuary. It should be your sanctuary. When the world is throwing punches at you and your world is falling apart outside the shop, you can still walk in and be surrounded by people, your clients, your co-workers, and be in this safe space, this fun, safe space, encouraging each other to do better the next day. If there's always another day to do better and to raise everybody up. So, all right, I'm almost to the coffee shop, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.